Oh, sorry to hear that.
What was that?
I got the sniffles.
She got the sniffles.
The sniffles and the jet lag.
Yes. Welcome to the lighter side of the dark side.
I swear to God, officer, it's jet lag.
Welcome to the lighter side of the dark side. It's your weekly freak show here on Renegade Radio. Also, Spotify, Apple, Google, Stitcher, Deezer, TuneIn, Radio Public, wherever you're listening to us. It's the Dark Mark Show. I'm Dark Mark, the goth comedian. As you can tell if you're watching this on YouTube, by my guideliner, I just want to say hi again to the real fuck you, or no, the real F you, who wondered if I was a transvestite. I'm not, but I am wearing makeup right now, so just for you. Anyway, we got a great show. And somebody was asking me what guests pulled out this week. I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about.
Love it.
Actually, this is going to be a great. We've been talking up a storm already. Two of the most talented people I know. Two people that have been in show business for a long time and will be for a long time to come because they're both very talented. They're both on the show that I produced, and everybody was raving about both of them. Here she is. She's been on the show before. You know her.
Hello.
The former lead singer of Otto's Daughter, now making her name as a fashion designer with her solo work, and also about to start her own podcast.
Yeah.
That's Jacqueline Van Bierk.
Hello.
And yeah, everybody's got three names except for me. Jacqueline Van Bierk, and right next to you is veteran comedian, very funny. He's got stories upon stories upon stories. I've been trying to get him on the show for a long time, and I guess all I have to do is ask, because here he is.
All you have to do is ask.
That's Franchie San Pedro.
Hey, how you doing?
It's a very international show, because you're Cuban, right, Franchie?
I am.
You're Cuban. You're German. And I'm...
And we meet right in the middle. It'll be fine.
I'm a European mod, yes. So, when those Germans and Cubans get together, we'll see what happens.
We're good engineers, too. We can make things run forever. You just create them new.
Yes. So, before I get started, I want to... Hannah, by the way, my co-host, is not here tonight. I really want you to meet her, though.
I know.
At some point, because you guys are going to be best friends. But and you met her, and
I've
you
met
hung
her.
out,
I
and
think
you hung
she's
out with her.
fantastic.
But
at the whiskey, I think.
Yes, I did the show Whiskey. You came by, and I appreciate that. And we were regaling us about stories about the '80s and all that stuff. Yeah. And we'll get some of those on the air.
Some of those I have to rewrite and read because I forgot.
I can imagine. Well, if you partied in the '80s and you remembered it, you weren't really there.
Nah.
Yeah, exactly.
You're making shit up. Well, speaking of that, Audible. Speaking of stories. If you go to audibletrial.com/DMS. Once again, audibletrial.com/DMS. You get a free book and a free 30-day trial and 2 Audible originals. That's for free. You don't have to pay anything. You're on the road.
That's a deal.
You just flew to Europe. I'm sure you had to get, you had to get some entertainment somehow.
I was binging TV.
Really?
Like movies.
I have my mom read me books.
Well, that's the thing. That's Audible.
Record them. She feels good.
Yeah. So you have your own personal Audible, but if you don't, go to audibletrial.com/DMS. You can get the Heroin Diaries by Nikki Sixx. If you want some 80s.
I want to read that. I was there.
If you want some 80s stories, I can imagine. They got all sorts of books about comedy. They have comedy albums. They have comedy albums by everybody.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Any comedy album you can think of. Carlin Classic Gold, Richard Pryor. No, the only two...
Paul Lynn?
Not Paul Lynn.
Paul Lynn made 2.
I'd have to look that up. I don't think they have every... Well, I know they don't have Bill Cosby or Louis C.K., which is...
Well, there's enough exposure on them.
They used to, no. Which is weird because they do have Aziz Ansari's book, and he got in a little trouble. So I don't know what their policy is. They have Brody Stevens' last comedy albums on there, which is great. And, remember him for the laughter that he gave. Or whatever. They got Jim Gaffigan. They got everybody. They got Tig Notaro.
I got to check that out.
Yeah. They got all sorts of comedy. Remember record stores? I paid $22 for George Carlin Classic Gold. Get it free on Audible. Just go to audibletrial.com/DMS. Also, you get 2 Audible originals. What are Audible originals? They are programming that Audible does themselves. You remember the movie Alien 3?
Uh-huh.
Think of what it could be, because one of the Audible originals this month is the script by William Gibson. You're familiar with William Gibson, the author? He was a big cyberpunk author in the 90s, early 2000s. He wrote a script for Alien 3 that was never used.
Oh, yeah?
Now,
So alternative.
yeah, so on Audible, they have Michael Biehn, Lance Hendrickson, and a cast do Alien 3 run through the script. I want to check that out.
Cool.
That sounds good.
They also have sci-fi novels narrated by John Waters, Zachary Quinto.
John Waters is cool.
I love John Waters. They have a new Audible original with the one that's on Saturday Night Live now. The one that's great on Saturday Night Live now.
Which one?
Help me out. The one that's great. Everybody else.
Well, there's a few of them. I mean, but,
the one that was in Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. Leslie Jones.
No. The white one.
She is fun, though.
The white one. You should have said that.
The white one.
Oh. I don't remember her name. Leslie's one.
Kate McKinnon. Kate McKinnon.
Yes,
Oh,
and she
she's
is
so
awesome.
good.
Kate
Yes.
McKinnon has
When
a.
she does stuff, it's just like
funny.
eerie.
Kate
Yes.
McKinnon has an Audible original where she plays like the Wicked
she
Witch.
does?
It's great. It's great. audibletrial.com/DMS. By the way, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I think Kate McKinnon is the best person they've had on Saturday Night Live since Eddie Murphy.
Yep.
She's
Besides
that
Kristen
good.
Wiig. Kristen Wiig was really good, too.
She wasn't as funny as Kate McKinnon.
No, Kate McKinnon is very.
Kate
very
McKinnon
funny.
comes out.
And she, I mean, when she gets
so
into
versatile,
character,
like, yeah.
it's like
It's so
how
original,
can you break
so
this?
different,
Yeah.
and so funny, and she can play anyway. Now, Kristen Wiig's good. I'm not saying she's not good.
But I agree with you. She transforms into anything.
Like
crazy.
Eddie Murphy, Belushi, Bill Murray, people
Right.
like that just popped off the
she's
screen.
got a certain charisma.
She's
It's
got
awesome.
that. She's
She
got
does.
that. But anyway, so go to audibletrial.com/DMS. Either that, Bob Newhart has an Audible original where he interviews Will Ferrell, Sarah Silverman, and Judd Apatow and Kern.
So I have to see this now. 'Cause
Well, it's
now-
on. Well, you got to listen to it. It's on Audible.
Well, and I'm not going to see it. I mean, I have
Yes.
to see where I get it. and
Yes,
then I'll hear it.
audibletrial.com/DMS. Also,
I'm sold.
I don't know if either one of you are vegan, but it doesn't really matter.
What, Regan or vegan?
Vegan. We were talking about this when you were
Yes.
hanging out with Hannah because Hannah's vegan.
My
Doom.
daughter's vegan.
Go take her to Doobie's Home Cooking because you would love it. She will love it.
Really.
Doobies?
My
Doomies.
daughter.
Do you-
Oh,
Works,
yeah, I love Doomies.
Doomies,
Yes,
Doomies,
yes,
Doomies.
I
yes,
haven't
yes.
been there. My daughter works at Sage.
It's like vegan
It's like vegan junk food.
vegan junk
Oh,
food.
really?
yeah.
Doomies. Doomie's
You would
Home
love
Cooking.
it. You would love it.
Okay.
But they have like bacon strips and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah,
Tasty.
You know what's really funny? I'm not a vegan.
Yeah.
But I will eat vegan food and enjoy it.
You'll love it.
It's better now.
You'll
Yeah.
love it. They have. You would never even know. They have
When we were
shrimp.
kids,
Delicious.
Shrimp
here's a piece
po'
of grass.
boys,
There
yeah.
you go. That's what you get.
No, here's what they got: Philly cheesesteak, fried chicken,
Yeah.
Shrimp po' boys. They have a Mexican restaurant right next door, Next Mez, that has. Last time I was there, I had a carne asada burrito, wet, delicious. They got flautas, biggest flautas I ever had.
Really?
Go to 1253 Vine Street, right in the corner of Alton and Vine. You remember the M Bar?
Yeah.
Right next to
How
where the
can I
M Bar
forget?
used to be.
Yes.
And also, there's two restaurants in Culver City and one in Toronto, Canada. Doomie's Home Cooking, the best.
Doomies?
Doomies.
As in
Doomies.
Doomy?
As in doom and gloom.
Doom.
Doomies.
I like it the other way, but I'll remember it this
Well,
way.
yeah.
phonetically.
Don't take your daughter to Doomies. Take her to Doomies.
Well, I'm not Trump, yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
That desserts are really good too.
Yes. Oh.
so good.
Deep fried Oreos, chocolate cake,
See, I can't have that.
carrot cake. Morgan had a carrot cake. It was
Carrot cake,
delicious.
good?
It was huge. But then again, who wants carrot cake with meat in it? Anyway, so there she is, as Jacqueline Van Bierk.
Hello.
You just got back from France.
I did.
Oh, what were you doing there?
I went to the Media Music Festival / conference.
Yeah.
Which is like a 4-day, just like music business, artists from all over Europe,
Yeah.
publishers, labels, managers.
Now, are you bigger in Europe or in America these days?
What?
Are you bigger in Europe or America these days?
I am big in my own head.
No, but I mean, we went over this last time. You were in the industrial band Otto's Daughter,
yeah.
and now you're doing more EDM stuff. Although I listened to your latest song, which we might play a little later, and it's a little it's heavy. It's going back more to an industrial
Which one?
sound. What was it called?
Jump?
No, not Jump.
I go back and forth. I'm like a little,
But
I do the dark and the light. Like I love EDM, I love dance, and I also
Right.
love the dark shit. Like so, I always go, back and forth. Otto's Daughter started in the States, so I didn't do that in Germany.
oh, Daggers.
Daggers. Oh yeah, that's actually an older song. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So is that kind of is that
I performed that at your show.
Yes, you
Yeah,
did.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
you did. You were great. But
That was a
Thank
great
you.
show, by the
Thank
way. I
you.
enjoyed watching.
Thank you.
you
had fun.
came out, and this is at a weird place. We had a bunch of comics and strange acts. You came out, balloons fell from the sky. I left because I was on stage for a while. I was a little hot, so I went to get some air. Came back, and all these guys in the first few rows are dancing, and they're going crazy. Everybody was just having a great time.
That's the goal every time I play a show. I want it to be very interactive, you know? I think like the audience should be part of the show. That's my
But the thing is,
my goal.
I've seen reluctant audiences be part of the shows. They weren't reluctant; they were happy. They're loving it.
Yeah, everyone was participating pretty well when you
Yeah.
were up there. They enjoyed what you were doing, so it was easy to
Yeah.
interact.
Yep.
It was a great crowd, actually.
Yeah, it was a really good crowd.
Really cool crowd.
So, are you big? So, because you're doing more EDM, which I it's big in the States, but I think in Europe, I think it's.
Well, that's
It's-
why I went to meet him. I'm just kind of starting out again, basically, you know, as my solo act.
Right.
Otto's daughter is gone. And so that's why I went there, to just like promote my music and get some publishers and labels interested and collaborate with like European artists, you
Yeah.
know. It was just great.
And
it was right by, it's at Cannes, I guess it's Cannes or Cannes, I can never.
The Cannes Film
The
Festival,
Cannes Film Festival. So that's the same place,
right?
except it's for the music. So the whole vibe was like awesome, you know. It's like right by the ocean, like by the water, and
Any big collaborations?
there's a few talks, yeah.
Yeah.
But nothing is, you know. Talk is talk, right?
Yes.
That's just,
Nothing solid yet.
nothing solid yet, yeah.
Well, it was interesting because I was doing some more research on you. What I forgot to bring up last time you were on is that a lot of your songs have been featured in TV shows,
Yeah.
like Oprah.
Yeah.
Like, or did you do original music for that?
That was different because I wrote original music for that.
So
That was like music library music, so it's just instrumental music for it. I composed as well.
Dr. Oz,
Yeah,
Oprah.
Nate Berkus, that kind of stuff. Yeah, that was like for making music for music libraries, which is like different than being an artist or like being a singer-songwriter. Because it's a slight difference between, you know, making background music that should not be distracting the dialogue.
Oh, is that the trick? Okay.
I'm impressed.
Yeah,
My family's usually on Springer, but you know they don't play music.
yeah.
I think, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Springer's been. I was trying to think when they've had fights. I think they would ring a bell and stuff, but that's
Yeah.
about it.
That's my family
Yeah. Oh, Jerry Springer.
always.
Yeah. So, but how do you get your song on Oprah? That's pretty good. And how does that pay?
It paid decent. It paid pretty good because it's also syndicated and it's like in all over the world. It came because I was a member of that company called Taxi Music, and so it's all like getting to conferences and meeting people and
Yeah.
collaborating with other people. And then somebody recommended me to a library. They were like, "Hey, she's really cool and she does some really good stuff." And at the time, I was actually not that good. I was just I was just starting out.
But it helped you get better.
It helped me get better
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
that's great.
And I really like that because it's different than being an artist and writing a song because you don't have to think of lyrics. You just like write, very basic, but like either intense, drama tension or something uplifting depending on the situation. Like somebody, tells a story like, oh, and then some happy ending kind of thing. So you want to support that that emotional
That's another.
scene.
That's another type of score than happy endings.
Yeah.
We've all heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, porn scoring is a whole different thing. But but so you
That'd
get a
be fun,
car,
like
you
a
get a
porn.
car, you get a car.
Yeah, I bet it would be. Ta-da!
Yeah, no, you got to get the wah wah guitar and the bongos and the whole thing. I don't know. But have you thought about scoring movies? Has anybody approached you with that?
Yeah, and in the future maybe, yeah.
Yeah?
I'd love to do a TV show. That'd be so awesome.
Right. Which is weird because and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm trying to think. There's not a lot of women scorers, and I don't know why.
There is a few, and I think it's now that in this kind of climate we're in right now, there's more support.
Right.
Women are really getting hired more because in the past, no, there weren't really many women,
Right.
being hired. Like it's usually the guys that get the gig because it's a man's world.
It is.
It's changing.
It's changing. It's changing.
It's a good thing.
No, we're
Yeah.
going to talk about
They
that.
really
but-
Because
put a
we're
lot of
losing a
effort.
lot of talent if we don't do that.
Yeah. And there's a lot of girl producers, women composers,
Right.
women that do movies. And,
I'm sure.
Yeah. So they're being brought to light more now.
But I'm trying to
It's
think, like
changing.
every movie I see, it's Danny Elfman or
Yeah.
Hans Zimmer or somebody
Yeah.
else like that.
It's almost also like, once there's a bunch of composers who are really famous and they love their work, they want that.
Right.
Where they would even tell us, like, we want something like Danny Elfman. Like, can you make that?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like...
It puts you in a hard place because you want to be able to do something that's different and
Your
good.
fingerprint, yeah, exactly.
But they keep you under glass because,
Right.
we want this,
Right.
Yeah.
Can you be more like Leno? Huh.
Oh, did you ever get that? There's Franchie here.
No, when
Leno.
I first started out, I would
Yeah.
get, hey, can you be a little more like this guy or this? No, man, I am who I am.
Right. And when did you start?
I started 35 in 1979.
Wow.
When you were 5 years old.
You were 5 years old.
Yeah, no.
So,
I wish.
so
No, I started in high school.
40th anniversary.
Yeah, I started in high school, and then I worked for a magician a couple of times, locally in Monrovia in Arcadia.
Yeah.
At like the VFWs type thing.
Okay.
And then
Did you do comedy, or you
Yeah,
were just like,
stand-up.
okay, so
which was mostly rip off from anybody I could.
that's the way
just to get it
that's the way
working,
everybody starts. Yeah.
And then I went to the store. Went to the comedy store before it even had the building around it. The walkway. It was all
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
First person I saw was Skip Stevenson on the stage.
Oh, yeah.
And later on,
Skip Stevenson, who was in Real People.
Yeah.
Which I have to explain what Real People is.
Real People was like
It was one of the big, probably the first reality show.
Kind of a reality where they'd show clips and,
It was a weird show, and it was a huge show.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's really it's never been rerun, so people don't know what people I guess can see it on YouTube. But
I guess they could, but yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of reality. Like it was like the name suggests, real people, and that they would have like little vignettes, little
tapings, little things of things that had happened to real people, and
they'd either go out on the road and interview these people, or they would have them in the studio.
Right.
And it was like the first kind of reality show.
Right.
Wow.
It was before America's Got Talent and all that stuff.
Right. Except these weren't necessarily entertainers; they were just
they're just different people.
Yeah. So
They're real people.
So you saw Skip Stevenson. So what did you think about that?
Well, I enjoyed that, and then Charlie Hill I met in the beginning, and Harris Pete and all these guys. I mean, you kid, I'm like bushy, wide-eyed, and stuff.
And were you still under 21?
No.
Okay,
I was exactly 20. No, I was exactly 18 when I went there the first time.
Okay.
Then I went in the service for a little while and came back out.
Okay.
And went straight there. You couldn't keep me away from there. Where everybody else was, surfing and everything in my area, I had to go to Hollywood.
Yeah.
People go to the mall. I went to Hollywood.
So, what was your first set at the Comedy Store like?
Oh, it was not good.
Yeah.
I would work there and get my spots whenever I could. And then I started at the Laugh Factory when it was a hole in the wall, a real hole in the wall, a little stage in the back.
See, I can't even imagine that.
Oh, I know, but I used to, with a friend of mine, Glenn Rabney, we used to grab people from the store and walk them to the Laugh Factory.
Oh, wow.
And talk them into going into the... I used to bark
That's not a short walk either.
No. But, shit, I was, 20?
Did Jamie give you a cut or what?
No, I ain't got no cut from
Hey, buddy, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to the store.
Yeah.
I want you to get some people, have them walking down here.
First time I went there, I did an open mic, and I was dying terribly, to the point where he turned off the lights.
Oh, Jamie?
Whoa.
Yeah, he turned off the lights on me. And then all of a sudden I took out my lighter and lit it up and started talking, and then he turned them back on.
Okay.
And he goes, that's what I wanted. I wanted real stuff, not scripted stuff. And I had a lot of scripted stuff, and ever since, I have ideas and stuff, but I don't write anything.
You're very, very off the cuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just trying to describe you to some people today, like, because somebody saw the show and they're like, oh, he was great. And
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have ideas, but nothing's written in stone.
Yeah, I don't do it either. I don't write either. Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah.
So wait, you guys go and do your show without really knowing what you're gonna. You kind of have an idea of what you're gonna do, or you just go totally play it by
Except
ear,
2 minutes before the show, I think to myself, I got nothing to effing talk about. And then I go up on stage, and as soon as I'm walking up, it starts hitting me.
Really?
And over the years, I've accomplished having a great confidence that I'm not going to fall or fail. and not everything is funny.
Right.
Not everything is not it is not funny.
Right.
It's a catch and fall. And as long as I'm on the edge, I want you on the edge.
Right.
And that to me is
That's cool.
stand up.
I'm a little more. I have a plan in mind. When I first started, I wrote everything. I wrote everything out. Then I would just write bullet points, and then I just scrapped that all together and just sort of. I have a pretty good